Greetings one and all, and welcome back to Zayfard Plays Civilization Beyond Earth Rising Tides. In our previous episode we just started setting up our world. Setting up our little colony, expanding our lovely city of Deep Castle, and dealing with our very first mission. Our mission being a very simple one of go collect the stuff we've sent you in resource pods. What we've also discovered is, and I'll see if I can find it. She's paging a bit today. Well, what can I do with that, eh? We found a giant dead alien, or rather, one of our neighbours have found it. And we're now trying to find some more alien remains to find more about them. We have found one already, just here, which has given us a little bit of information, and we need to find 4 more. We've also started attacking some of the smaller hydrocoral before it gets too bad, because we'd very much like to explore this alien skeleton. Once we get an explorer back, because the local aliens have been attacking us a little bit. However, at the end of last episode we also had a new virtue to get. So without further ado, was it ado? Without much further ado, that sounds better. I'm going to choose. Now, cohesive values is always good. Needing less culture, to get the next rank, fantastic. So that is what I've chosen. Okay. Next turn. So once the trade depot's done, I'm probably going to get a soldier, so I can go wipe out the local alien nest, which is really right on top of us. Ooh! How nasty are those? Rather nasty. And there is quite a lot of hydrocoral nearby. So yeah, that stuff is quite hard to get rid of. Ooh. We appear to have peeved the aliens somewhat. And we have a new race. Fantastic. But whilst we have peeved the aliens, we have become... well, we've got an upgrade. And I always think... it's the one thing I think is a bit of a shame in this game, in all honesty. The upgrades are a bit... bland. Is sort of... it's complete health, recover health, or get bonus to attack. So, of course I'm going for health bonus, and then bugging out to heal. Because why would I choose anything else, ever? That's one of the things Civilization 5 did really well. You had lots.
If the personality traits you currently have don't seem as useful anymore, you can exchange them for new ones. You have enough diplomatic capital to do this now. Visit the diplomacy section and see if any of the alternative traits are more attractive.
Yeah, and you're lying. For some reason, this always comes up, always, when you have 100, when you're like 25 away from having enough diplomatic capital. I need 150. Why does it insist on telling me I have enough? But what was I saying? Yes, one of the things some of the other Civilization games did really well was your upgrades. They gave you a real choice. Did you want to specialise in this route, or did you want to heavily specialise in range attack or close range attack? And while I understand you get that when you have your level up of your unit type, it's a shame you don't have that extra granularity of going, well, I want this particular unit to be a bit better at this. It's not a major gripe, but it would be nice, shall we say. Having said that, as gripes go, it is quite a minor one, so can't complain too much. Okay, a quest decision. Ah, excellent. Several new ventures wish to establish their operations near our territory. They provide different services that may be useful to us. We can get Palatine, provides us 4 culture, or we can get 4 cult. I've never seen that happen before. Here, you can have this. You can have culture, or you can have culture. Well, I think I'm going to go for 4 culture to anyone that establishes a trade route. I like the name Lalabella more. Don't know why, but I like it. So yeah, Lalabella it is. And of course, at the moment, I can't trade with them. Because they're on land and I'm at sea. Bit of a shame that, but, you know, what can I do? I'll have to do some research. Right, well, I see aliens. The aliens didn't see our missiles coming. Now remember, our mission is to save Earth that was, and make this world a new Earth, so anything that's not earthly must go, sadly. West decision time. Since opening our clinic, the populace has been split by an ideological divide. Securing and improving our new territory has put great strain on both our military and civil workforces, and both contend that the hazard they face should be offset by state-sponsored healthcare. Our fledgling colony does not have the resources to do both, which then has the greater need of aid. So provide care for defence workers, so extra hit points for the city, for the clinic, or plus health from clinic. I'm going to go for the plus health, but I do like extra health. Defence and security are vital, but our colony must invest in its infrastructure if we are to truly thrive. Our civil workers are the engine that powers our growth and our economy. Providing them with care is a small price to pay to safeguard that progress. Yes, one thing I didn't mention last episode, and this is, to be honest, because it's a part of the core gameplay of Beyond Earth rather than the expansion, your health dictates on how well you're doing. Well, it is the health of your civilization. And if you have above a certain amount of health, you'll get bonuses. If you go below, you'll get negatives. So at the moment I have plus 1% production in cities because I'm above 5 health, which is really good. Now the negatives, I believe, if memory serves correct, are worse than the positives. So it does hurt you more.
Consider a simple problem, such as navigation in a spaceship approaching light speed.
Yes, that is a simple problem. So yes, I was saying, I believe that having a negative health effect, it gives you a worse negative than the bonus you get for having a positive health. Could be wrong. Hopefully, I will never find out. Okay, what would I like next? Well, I'm not really interested in launch progress. The rudder would be useful. Dry dock could be beneficial. However, I think I would like... Yeah, I'm going to go for a beam. They take a while, which is a shame. Let's see. There's the trade one. So I know there is a depot. There is a trade option which gives us aquatic trade. Sorry, not aquatic, amphibious trade. That's one, and that is really useful because that allows us to trade both on land and at sea with one trade unit. Trade convoy. Nope, cannot find it for looking. No, I'm sure I'll find it again. In the meantime, what can we have instead? So engineering, reactors, combat rovers. You know, I could really do something to improve production. Actually, bionics could be good. Actually, could be good. Well, hybrid unit. So yeah, that's one of the new things. If you're seeing here, it's saying supremacy and purity. So it just seems remarkably quiet. Oh, the music's just stopped. Okay. Fair enough, I've not heard that happen before. I'll have to keep an ear on that, see what happens. Speaking of the music. But yeah, you have hybrid units. So then you have a certain amount of levels in more than one affinity. So in this case, 4 levels of purity and 4 levels of supremacy. You start getting hybrid units which are a mix of the pair, which is a really cool idea that I've yet to be able to play with. Actually, I've never got deep enough into the game to have more than one affinity. Okay. Ecology would be really useful actually. Extra food. We can go for combat rovers, which again could be really useful. Repair facility. I can go for a boost for physics. I can go for chemistry. Oh, actually that will be quite useful. Yeah, chemistry, because not only would it give me the invisible subs, which are fantastic, a laboratory, so extra science, but also a recycler. So this means we can get more production. And bonuses from trade as well. Excellent. So I'm going to make a trade city. So in fact, if I'm doing that, let's get a trade convoy going. Because we're going to get bonuses for that, which is really nice. A mysterious encrypted transmission was received from an unknown origin. After some considerable effort, it has been decoded. The clear text read, the Culper cell requires infrastructure for covert operations. Should you choose to accept, you will be rewarded in time. I've got to research computing to be able to do spying. And these guys are fully healed. Excellent. Time to look for some more ancient alien remains. See if any of them are showing up. Nope. They could be anywhere. Okay, well let's start with this local black spot. See if we can't open up there. Hello? Oh no, it's Lalabella. Should have remembered Lalabella was there. I was the one who said they could found a city. Ah, fantastic, a new virtue. So, I can have +1 health for every 6 population in a city, or a reduced science penalty. Okay. I could actually go for production now. Yeah, you know what, I'm actually going to go labour logistics at the moment. We are struggling with production time. So let's get a boost to this. Yeah. Okay. Hello. Ah, vents. And a resource pod discovered. Oh, let's go claim this resource. Oh, that's a lot of hydrocarbon. Inside the resource pod, you found a cache of laboratory equipment from old Earth, made with precise techniques that are difficult to replicate on this planet. The equipment is eagerly welcomed by your scientists, providing 23 research. Fantastic. Sadly, however, it hasn't provided, which is a real shame, but it hasn't provided another relic. Which is a shame. I do really want to show you guys what happens when you merge the 3 relics together. And we found an alien nest. Really now? Well, that is most decidedly a threat to us and our way of life. As you can see, that is most decidedly a threat to us and our way of life. Ah, but a new veterancy level gained. Excellent. So these are getting a lot more powerful. Oh, wow. Okay, another resource pod. Fantastic news. Hopefully that'll have the final one we need of our artifacts. Okay. Oh, okay. I was under the impression that was a nest. You found a portable reactor and fuel source inside the resource pod. You are able to activate it despite some damage from landing, providing 70 energy. Fantastic. Even better! Just what I was looking for. A new artifact. A pristine, clean air generator. A large structure used to generate breathable air. A large structure used to generate breathable air. Generators such as this one became commonplace on Earth as the air became too polluted to filter. Rather than trying to create more powerful filtering technology, civil engineers installed these generators alongside major thoroughfares and public buildings. People could purchase one for their homes, although the cost to run one was prohibitively expensive. Wow, that's kind of grim actually. Grim view of the future that we might ever need that sort of thing. Okay, so that's a bonus to production. That's production and science, and this, what will this give us? Production, energy and science. And Tesseract targeting. Cities can now bombard through terrain obstacles. So this is one of... I had theorised that this would be possible, but I've never actually seen one of these before. So that's fantastic. It's good to see I was right there. So yes, you can actually get, through combining your artifacts, just static bonuses, things that just give you a bonus just for having it. So that's fantastic, so I will take that. An advanced missile guidance system. This little understood technology harnesses the fourth dimension to improve the accuracy of long-range strikes. Particularly useful for colonial defences, the process is also completely undetectable. Fantastic. So yes, defences are now nothing. Blocked terrain does nothing to stop our attacks, which is really good. Really nice to see. Okay. Well, is there anything else nearby for us? Let's keep having a look. We'd love to have more artifacts. And we still need to find 4 more ancient alien corpses. Those scarabs didn't stand a chance. Okay, and we're going to create a trade to Lalabella for the culture. Looks like just by being us, we have the amphibious ones. Fantastic. Okay. So, explorer or marine? I think... No, let's go for ranger for now, actually. I know I was saying explorer or marine, actually ranger. But this was a case of... There's a resource pod, fantastic. The marines are taking 25 turns to build, and we... that's just not good enough for us, I'm afraid. We do need to have some better production before we can do that. Speaking of which, let's look at our diplomacy. And manage our personality traits. So as I mentioned last episode, one of the new features of Rising Tide is personality traits, where you can spend diplomatic capital to upgrade parts of your empire, all with similar ideas in each of these, but slightly different as well. And we get to personalise our civilization however we want to. Now I think I'm going to start probably with military actually. That would be useful. Military efficiency, extra production for military. So if I spend 150 diplomatic capital, which is the same for all of these, but this goes up every time you do it, then you'll get a bonus. So this bonus will be plus 15% production for military units. Or we could get culture for killing units in combat, which is absolutely awesome. What else have we got? Yeah. I like the military honour. Now one of the other things you can do is not only this gives you perks, but this gives you agreements you can use, and this is the new part of the new diplomacy system. Rather than trading goods and technology, you trade agreements. So, if I go for honourable, the agreements that other people can give me diplomatic capital to get, because it's diplomatic capital that you use to spend. There's not a here is money, have something. It is here is diplomatic capital, give me something. So, neo-patriotism give you more culture when killing a unit in combat. Fantastic, but only useful if you gain culture. Now, you'll see there are different states, so part of the new diplomacy system, which I will explain in more detail when we actually meet our neighbours, you get different bonuses from your agreements depending on how much the other people like you. So that looks pretty cool. Military efficiency is also good. Extra production. Increase... So yeah, that's a very simple one when you're... Sorry, I had a mind blank for a second. When you do the agreement with the other nation, they will get extra production when building military units, and they will give you 9 diplomatic capital a turn. However, I'm really tempted to go for the honourable actually. We are going to be killing a lot of bugs, and the culture is really good early in the game. So yeah, I am going to go for that. Now, you can change your personality traits later, except for your character one, which is set in stone. But if you see, the cost for this has now gone up. It was 150, it's now 165 for all of them. So next time, when I hit 165, I can either upgrade Honourable, or Indefatigable, or take something in politics or domestics. So that's a really neat little system. And I just really like how they've changed it, because this does give the game such a individual feel. I really am enjoying this so far, from the half hour I've played before I did recorded, and what I've done in this game so far. Okay, so inside the resource pod you found a collection of goods and luxuries from old Earth that your people never thought they would see again. These rally and refocus your people, providing 25 culture. Fantastic, and sadly, no artifacts. But there's another pod which might have artifacts. Now I know, if we go back to the library actually, where we can see the artifacts, you'll see there's 3 types of artifact. There's Old Earth, Alien and Progenitor. You get the Old Earth relics, I think largely from drop pods, but a few, probably satellites as well if memory serves correct, I'm not sure. Alien, I don't know. Progenitor, I'm not 100% sure. I've only got a couple of each of those. And actually the first one I got was in episode 1 of this series of the Progenitor. So it's, yeah, I'm still working, finding out how this works. Okay, so they've got a satellite. They're that close. I should go and say hi. Yeah, I should go and introduce myself. Resource pod has been searched. You found a reactor and fuel source inside the resource pod. 40 energy this time. That's really nice, but no artifact. However, I am going to go and say hi to our neighbour. Because, well, it would be rude not to, wouldn't it? Besides, how else am I going to show you guys how diplomacy works if I don't go and say hi to somebody?
A 4 billion-year-old world's worth of resources, shared among a handful of people. We're gonna make a fortune here.
That is such a hideous attitude. But it's wonderful to see that sort of stuff. There's so many lovely little things they've done with the descriptions in this game. Okay, so we have a new research program available for us. Now we can either go biochemistry. Yes, Simon, not sure what that does. Water refinery, so extra production, that is useful. Petrochemical, which is more production, so there's a lot of production there. However, it's going to take a lot actually. Genetics gives us Pharma Lab and ooh, that would be useful, the genetics. Engineering would be good as well though. Energy and trade especially. Faraday Gaia. You know what, I'm going to try the Faraday. Let's see what it does. Petroleum discovered. Oh wow, very close. I'm going to have to get a workaround soon. Best decision. The construction of the trade depot is practically complete. While it is currently operational, there is a disagreement between the engineers about the intended use of this and future complexes. Some argue that it should be finalised primarily as a storage space, while others contend that it should be streamlined for trade. So I can streamline and get extra energy, which I don't need, or extra storage, which gives me production, which I do need. The depot is, first and foremost, a depot. By completing the complex as a storage facility, we can store more material for use in our colony's production. So fantastic, we're getting more production in. We're still getting 8 energy a turn, which is pretty good, in all honesty. I get the feeling my hubris is going to come back and bite me later, but for now I am confident. And we've discovered a new station, Adapt Blue, which will give us bonuses to food and science. And this is what I was looking for earlier. This is the monstrous alien remains we saw at the start. This is what started off that quest line. Ooh, hello.
Iskawaran, the African people greet you.
Fantastic, so we have met our first person on this planet. Which means I can talk you through how the new diplomacy system works, which I love. Now, basically you can see on this screen these two symbols. They show how much the other leader respects you and how much they fear you. And depending on how much they fear or respect you, sorry about that, I thought I was going to sneeze, so I thought best to mute the microphone so you didn't have to deal with that. So yes, depending on how much they fear or respect you, you can do some diplomatic stuff. I'll just wait for the turns to go through so I can actually show you what you can do in diplomacy. Okay, so, to our diplomacy screen. Oh, new virtue, fantastic, but we'll get to that later. So, you'll select these race. They are neutral with us. They have 5 out of 9 respect for us and 4 out of 9 fear. So we can do two things. We can either discuss potential agreements, so we can offer them an amount of diplomatic capital at first, with then an amount per turn for them. Now the only one we can afford is Pioneering Spirit, which will give our outposts extra growth speed. Or the Social Safety Net, which will give we can't afford it yet, we'd have to save up. But extra growth in the capital, or if we go for conservation areas, we get science from strategic resources, which is really cool. The other thing we can do is change relationship. Now, to change our relationship, we need to spend diplomatic capital. And by increasing ourselves to cooperative or allied, certain things will be put in place automatically. So, open borders, shared views, they are just part of having closer ties. It's just tied in. It's a little bit of a shame. You've lost some of that granularity from Civilization 5, but it works really well. So, to go up to the next level, go down, you just say, I want to go down a level. Which is, just happens. But if you want to go up, you have to have met the requirements. Which, on each level, as you can see, there are the two symbols that coincide with these down here. So that's the respect and the fear. So, to go up to cooperative, they either need to have 5 fear of us, or 5 respect. Allied, 7 fear, or 7 respect. And that's really nice, that you have 2 different ways of influencing how these people see you. You can either make them fear you, and they'll work under you for fear of reprisal, or make them respect you. And they work with you because they think you're amazing. Which is a lovely way of doing it. And I'm not 100% sure on this, but when I've played with diplomacy a little bit, different races seem to be inspired by different things. So, one race, they might respect you for having lots of cities. Another might respect you for having lots of culture. It does seem every variable in the game, the military units, the number of cities, how far down you are on the science affinity tree, so the science trait tree, will affect what they think of you. And that is fantastic. I mean, it is almost anything and everything will affect what they think of you. And that is just, it's a lovely system. However, I've just seen the time, and that is, I'm afraid, all the time we have. Rather like last night's episode, I'm going to leave us on the we have a virtue to decide, because that'll be the first thing I do next episode. However, I do hope you have enjoyed this episode, and that you will be joining me tomorrow night to see what happens next. But, until we meet again, farewell.